Hey, Xiomy here. So today I wanted to do the rapid fire book tag. Now I had to refilm this video just because I went really crazy, deleting everything I had on my computer, especially extra footage, and I accidentally deleted the rapid fire book tag. So this is me filming it again. So I want to thank JD Estrada for tagging me for this video, so that is very humbly appreciative. So let's get into this tag, and I'm gonna have everything linked down below just in case you're interested. For the first question is ebook or physical book. I really don't mind. I tend to gravitate towards both, but I do buy a lot of books, so I'll say physical books for now. Question number 2 is paperback or hardback. I honestly don't mind. I'll buy both, especially if I have a series that's completely in paperback. I will get a little bit mad when they only bring it in hardcover, but I tend to gravitate towards both also. But I do like reading more paperbacks just because I do tend to travel with books, so carrying a hardcover sometimes is a little bit difficult to carry. So I'm gonna have to say paperback for this one. But floppy paperbacks, not those mass market paperbacks that are so difficult for you to actually read. Next question is online or in bookstore shopping. I would love to go to a bookstore and just shop or just be there all day and browse through all the sections, but unfortunately my closest bookstore, I was about to say bookmark, but my closest bookstore is 2.5, with my driving is 3.5 hours away. So I'm not gonna drive 3 hours every single time I want a book just because I can't deal with that. But I am kind of content lately with Walmart and Sam's Club. They are bringing a lot of books lately, and I'm very content. They're pleasing my inner geekiness, so I'm very happy with that. But 90% of my books are online bought. Next question is trilogies or series. I tend to gravitate more towards series because I have a problem letting go of books. Yes, I know it's a problem that I have to deal with, but I do love reading trilogies. I won't mind, but I tend to gravitate more towards series because I like to immerse myself in that world and just stay lost in that world for a long period of time. And then obviously I have trouble coping back with the real world, so I'm gonna have to say series. Heroes or villains. I'm the kind of girl that roots for the good guy, so I'm always yeah, the good guy. And if I'm reading a story from a villainous point of view, I will not like it at all. I obviously won't feel any kind of sympathy for no kind of reason, but I'm a good girl. I root for the good guys, so I'm always yes, for the good guy. There's a book that kind of destroyed me because it's The Whispers of the Fallen, and throughout the entire book something was happening and I was if bad guys win, I'm going to stand on top of my roof and I'm going to burn this book or just throw it somewhere because I cannot deal with this. And then obviously something happened in the end that kind of redeemed it a lot, so I was I can breathe now. But I root for the good guys. For the next question is a book you want everyone to read, and for that one I'm gonna have to go with Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I love this book, especially the story is told very beautifully. You have a diverse set of characters. Also the story is so immersing, especially all the background that's being feeded and bombarded to you, and you get to know these criminals on such a personal level, and something that I really did appreciate. One of the many reasons why I did connect a lot with all of them is because of that, because you get to know a lot of their background story and you get to know what was it that created them to become criminals, and immerses you into the world, into the mind of criminals. That's why I really do love this book. Also the diverse set of characters, which I just mentioned, is something that I really enjoyed about this book, and I cannot wait for the second installment. And I know that it's going to destroy me on such an emotional level because I'm really connected with this book. It's just something that I really adore, and I highly suggest everybody to read this book because it is a very lovely told story, and you get so many things that are just very well told, and I just can't wait. Honestly, I can't believe that it is a duology. I would have expected this to at least be a trilogy, but content that at least we got something. The next question is recommend an underrated book, and for that one I'm gonna have to go with Sword and Verse by Kathy McMillan. I really did adore this book and I loved it so much. Every book that deals with language, to me, is very emotional on such a personal level because I teach English to second language learners, and that is a barrier that they face on a daily constant basis. And books that deal with language, the importance of language and why you should teach language to anybody, no matter who they are, is something that's very important to me. And obviously, for the oppressed to stand up and to fight for what they actually want. That's why I really did love this book, and I think that this book is very underrated, and I highly suggest to everybody to just give it a chance. But don't skim read this book, because if you start skim reading this book, you are gonna get lost, because from one paragraph to another a lot of things do happen. So I would actually suggest that you read this book, take your be calm with it and actually read the book, because it is a lovely book and I really did enjoy it so much. The last book you finished was The Rest of Us Just Live Here. It was an okay book. I love the diverse set of characters, but actually, to tell you the truth, I really didn't connect with any of the characters, and I thought the story was okay. But I did read the book, and I had a lot of like Buffy kind of emotions that were stirring up in that book. It's like, it is done by Patrick Ness, so duh, right? But I was feeling a lot of those, you know, certain aspects, but I can't say that I connected with any of the characters. I have to say that towards the end is when I actually like immersed myself in that book and I started feeling a lot of things for certain characters, but I can't fully say my thoughts on that book, not quite yet. The last book you bought, for that one I'm gonna have to mention Three Dark Crowns by Kendra Blake. This book, I just received it in my Owl Crate unboxing, and I really have been anticipating this book for a while. And what I love about this book is that it is a book where it deals with a lot of magical twists to it, but you have three triplets who are fighting to become queens, so they have to fight to the death in order to attain their throne. So it's something that does sound very intriguing to read about, especially when it deals with family feuds. So I can't wait to read this. Weirdest thing you've used as a bookmark. For that's gonna be my fan, which I used it like a couple of days ago when we didn't have any electricity. Use books, yes or no? I don't mind use books, but as long as they're not yellow. I can read or use books, just because I'm very allergic. My nose is very sensitive, so if I read a book that's like completely tarnished with yellow or just has gone or undergone a serious array of problems, then you know I'm gonna have an allergy attack reading that book. Top 3 favorite genres. For those, I'm gonna have to mention fantasy because I do love immersing myself in different kind of fantasy worlds. I have fallen in love lately with historical fiction and also science fiction. Borrow or buy. 90% of my books are bought, but my friend does tend to lend me books, so whenever Lewis does lend me a book, I will read it, so I don't mind. Characters or plot. I am a person that's very character driven, but I really immerse myself a lot into the plot. I love having so many plot twists and turns that obviously set up the story so you can actually enjoy it. But I do love characters that are very fleshed out, and you know, I really do love like a really good character being introduced in a story, not a one-dimensional character. I really do like my characters to like jump from the pages. So it's difficult for me to actually choose in this one. Long or short books. For this one, I'm gonna have to choose long books, because sometimes when I read certain contemporaries and they're really short and I'm like, I want more. Why did you give me more? So I'm gonna definitely have to go for long books, because like I said, I have trouble dealing with loss in characters, or like, you know, like letting go of certain characters. So I'm gonna have to go with that one. For the next question is long or short chapters. I tend to not mind sometimes. Sometimes it does like piss me off, because I loved Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe, and sometimes you have books that only have one page or sometimes like one sentence, and I didn't mind in that one. But I did read another book, I think it was by James Patterson, I'm not quite sure on that, and I really didn't like the one chapter pages. It's something that was a little bit annoying to me. But it all depends on my mood for the book and how much I'm immersed into the world of the books. So I can't choose one or the others, because it really does depend on the book and how much I love it. The next question is, name the first 3 books you think about. A Torch Against the Night, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and Crooked Kingdoms. Books that make you laugh or cry. I don't know which one to choose, because I love laughing in books. It's one thing that I really do read about, because I do want to laugh. I don't want to be serious all day like reading a book. But I have loved the books that make me cry. I mean, Me Before You is one that made me ugly cry, like you have no idea, and I adored that book for everything that it did entail. So I can go with one or the other, so I can't say that I would choose one or the other, but I don't mind either of them. Next question is, our world or fictional worlds. I honestly don't mind. I do love reading books where magical and fantastical twists are set in our world, and you kind of see the different aspects and arrays of that. Like if you're living in a world where things are like closed in your eyes or like shut from your eyes, and you're like, wow, this really does exist even though I'm blinded by it. But I do love to disconnect from the world every now and then, so I'm gonna go towards fictional worlds, because I do love to visualize things in my mind and like see the different aspects that are being introduced in certain specific books. So I'm gonna have to say definitely fictional worlds. Audiobook, yes or no? I'm gonna have to say yes, because I have read some audiobooks that I really do love, and I've also read some audiobooks that I really hated that have put me to sleep. But as of right now, I'm gonna have to say yes, just because I have enjoyed the ones that I have like listened to, because it's something that's very different, like having somebody read to you instead of you reading to yourself. Do you ever judge a book by its cover? All the time. Like, I mean, 95% of my books are impulses on the cover alone, how aesthetically pleasing it is to the eyes, because I'm a very visual person. So if I see a book that has something that's pleasing and that I gravitate towards it, I am gonna buy it, and then I'm gonna be complaining because I really didn't like the story of it. It usually happens. It's only happened like twice in the time that I have been like immersed into booktube. So I'm gonna have to say yes, I judge it all the time, you know. It's something that I do. For the next question is book to movie or book to TV adaptation. I really have enjoyed some book to movies, but I'm gonna have to go with book to series because like I said, I do have a problem like letting go of characters. So I really am gonna enjoy a lot more series because sometimes a movie can be an hour, hour and a half, maybe sometimes 2 hours, and a series you can get what, like 12, maybe 22 TV shows if we're lucky enough, right? And they're what, like 45 minutes long. So I'm gonna have to definitely say TV series just because it fleshes out the story also a lot more and immerses you a lot into the world, and you get to know these characters on such a different level and also see if there's something different from the books, if it actually makes it better or not. So I have enjoyed a lot of TV series like the 100 and which is the other one? Oh, the Shannara Chronicles. I really have enjoyed those very much. And for the last question is series or standalone. I do love reading standalones, don't get me wrong, but like I've mentioned, like I think like a gazillion times right now, I have a problem letting go of characters, so I'm gonna have to definitely go with series just because I get to enjoy them a lot more instead of just only in one book. Now I do want to tag somebody in this video. I want to tag Lewis. He is the one person that I talk to, like physically talking to about books, and I want this to be incentive for him to actually start his channel. So you can't tell me anything and you can't be like, no, I'm not gonna do it right now, but like I hope you know that you do it. I don't care if you do it from now into the near future. I'm talking about like 3 or 6 months. I'm not talking like 4 or 5 years, but this is incentive for you to actually do your channel. I love the way he speaks about books. He's so passionately about it, and he also does read a lot of mangas, so I think it will be something different that is introduced into the booktube community, and also another Puerto Rican in here. So I really do tag you, and I hope that you eventually do this tag. So that is it for my tag video. I want to thank you for watching, and until next time, peace.